Okay, hey you guys, it's your girl Jay. We're gonna try a different thing tonight. We're gonna try a different angle using my, make sure I got this turned down. We're gonna be using my, sitting at my desk and, using my new microphone, my HD camera. We're gonna see how we flow. See how we flow. See how we flow. Okay. Unfortunately, the way the camera is set up, let me try the volume up. The way the camera is set up, I have to kind of look up. I could look right here, but unfortunately, yeah. I'll work out the angles later on. Also, in my camming, I'm able to work this angle pretty good. The fellas seem to like it for whatever reason. It's not that straight on, but anyway. So tonight's topic, you guys, we're going to get into talking about black girl luxury, which I didn't even know that was a thing right here at TikTok. I didn't know it was a thing possibly in other parts of social media or social media platforms, but I want to get in the way of talking about what is it like, what is it going to be like, or what are some of my mini goals, or things that I kind of want to explore that I have yet to explore at the age of 48 years old. Still haven't done these things because life was lifing beyond lifing, For those that know my story, coming out of homelessness for the last 6 years, a little bit before the pandemic, became homeless, went through the ups and downs of that, different types of lifestyles within that homelessness, which entailed doing some RV for at least 30 days, remaining in my van, couch surfing, going back and forth with particular types of men in the last 6 years. Yes, y'all, I've been through the trenches as it relates to what a girl, and I'm going to put emphasis when I say this, when an attractive woman or pretty woman and a pretty girl goes through a down place in her life, when she's down bad, as they call it, as my daughter refers to it, is being down bad. And of course, as I spoke about, I even would speak about it when I was in my van, of the struggles that I had with men who, it was either one extreme or the next. It was either men wanting to take me in to take care of me. This is where I'm kind of leading into the whole provider protection mode of men, even as for me as a woman who, again, these men did not know necessarily I was an online adult entertainer. The way I carry myself outside of the business is completely different. I wouldn't say completely, but it's different. I'm a spirit woman first. My self is second, and I'm a mother third, if that kind of makes sense, right? So me being in the industry is just a part of my job. So I just want to put emphasis there, but I also want to put emphasis on the fact that any woman, I don't care how down bad she is, women always will have, because we're life givers, we will always be desired by somebody to some degree, for no other reason but to possibly become a mother, right? To be a life giver for someone. There are many women who may not always be the pretty girl, or what society would call attractive, who are doing quite well as it relates to having providers, having men who protect them and things of that nature. But I don't want to dive too much over in that arena. But I do want to talk about it from my perspective of what luxury means to me, what leveling up means to me, and not only, again, from a material, because that's usually when we think luxury, we think material first. And coming from a place and space where I grew up, knowing that my great-grandparents were wealthy, they were frugal, though. These were older folks who, they weren't riding around. Well, my nana always had a Cadillac, make no mistake, but as it relates to, the latest fashion and things like that kind of way, we didn't grow up like that. She wasn't going to rush to the store, have somebody rush to the store to make sure I had the latest whatever. Keeping in mind, too, going into foster care, the foster care system, being a runaway. That's my story, my testimony, and I'm still here, y'all. Hey, won't he do it? And I say all that to say, just the many things that I've had to endure in life did not give me two things happened. It didn't give me the space to chase after luxury, and the people within my family that I knew, like I have a great aunt who was I'm gonna just go ahead with all due respect, auntie, a bag chaser, if you want. I don't mean necessarily, the money bag, because she was her own boss. She taught ballet, jazz, and modern dance at one of the local colleges. So definitely a class act. I come from a background of, even though my background is, some would say, a sad story, but again, being raised by my great grandparents who were wealthy folks, the first mode of wealth was etiquette and mannerisms. So I come from a place of back sit up straight. There was a point in time where my great aunt wanted to enroll me into what I think for boys it's called finishing school, and for girls it's called charm school. So I grew up in a household that was strict. Some might say I was extremely sheltered. Some might even say I was the favorite or spoiled. But never, all I'm saying is that even though I got those privileges, excuse my background, y'all, even though I got those, I got my own background, y'all. Not just my background, but I got my own noise. Won't he do it? But anyway, so so I'm just happy all the way around. I'm grateful. I'm like, at least it's my noise in the background. I ain't over nobody else's house complaining like, dang, Anywho, I'm not even complaining. That's the whole point. I'm very, very in a spirit of gratitude. I mean, again, I'm gonna be celebrating all this year, y'all. So what does that meme say, or that meme that goes, be prepared to be sick of me, because it is so true, And again, this is no over the top credit to myself as much as it is to God, how He's kept me throughout all of this strange and bizarre and very unique life I've had to live. Anywho, so I say all that to say, so yeah, even though I was raised by my great grandparents, yeah, was in foster care, yeah, was a part of a system. I almost want to say, luckily for me, most foster homes, because I was in about 6 or 7 before I was at my last one, before I was 18 years old. And the majority of the ones that, at least that I was exposed to and experienced, these foster mothers were wealthy women themselves. They had class and taste, and in fact, my sister's husband used to attend school with the Kardashians. So just to throw that in the bucket there, but to say the least, that our last foster mom that we had, both me, my 2 younger sisters, she took us all in. I was there first, and then she asked for my other 2 sisters, but rest in peace, Yolanda Elliott. She was definitely a woman of taste and class, and as it relates to mannerisms, etiquette, to, a little bit of charm. She was definitely more on the Shira 7 vibe of things. So I'm a late bloomer, y'all. I've never been one of them girls like Shira and Sarah, and then I follow her too, but you get me. A little bit more down to earth, if you will, a little bit more on my, Shira 7 relates to me more on her witchier side of things. For those that get it. Like I came here, about 2 or 3 years ago, and gave you guys the background also of my great grandmother, who was what most would call back in the day a medicine woman. She was what we'd call a healer. People would come to her as a little girl. I would witness certain neighbors or folks from, I would assume, from miles around would come to see her, for her to either pray and or help them along their journey. For those that don't know, if you look at my bio, you'll see that I'm a certified tantric healer as it relates to healthy sensual and sexual energies, right? So I got a lot going on as that relates to. So I've always been kind of more on the witchy side. Again, still a believer, but please understand what I'm saying. More on the holistic side of life. A tree hugger. I'm about humanity more than I am about the latest trends or fashion, right? So I was always drawn to the human condition more so than material value. So, but here we are on the other side of my life, and I want to get in the way of exploring certain things, and it doesn't always have to be extreme to top expensive. We're not talking about anything expensive. We're not talking about really bougie or foo-foo. I call it foo-foo for those that don't know. But we're talking about something that is just, I never got the chance to know what it's like to have a Coach bag, even though that's not really something I'm interested in, but you get what I'm saying, y'all. I don't own one pair of heels, never have. I think I've owned some stripper heels because the guys requested it. When I first started in the business, I used to have them clear stripper heels, knowing dang on well that I cannot twerk. I could barely twirl. But I did have some stripper heels though. Okay, I'm just saying, like the little. Anyway, I've been a wedge girl. I love wedges, so that's something I want to get back into doing. As I looked in my closet today, which is over there, and I was just like, okay, what do we need? And I'm gonna go through and write out, okay, what do I want? Not what I need, but I got what I need. You know, I got all of my needs met. But what do I want to explore going into the season of leveling up, right? The beautiful thing, and what's funny is that I feel like this is where God is taking me. This is not something that was on the wish list. Trust me, when I think about my life as a whole, I never desired to sit at the table or sit at the pretty girl table or be a part of the pretty girl clique. I never desired. I like being weird. Let me tell you, I like being my unique. I don't want to be a part of nothing or no one that takes away the essence and the core of who I am. And I think materialistic, especially over here in the Western culture, I used to assume that would take something from me. And so what I want to learn. Let me tell you what I want to learn. I want to learn, how do I be the level up part of me and still hold on to my aesthetic. I don't have to always be the coach girl, but how can I level up my life aesthetically wise, right? Externally wise, with a hint of luxury, boho, sexy. You get what I'm saying? You guys get where I'm trying to go with this, right? Keep in mind I'm 4'11", and I weigh in beautifully. I was like, wait a minute, what? I'm 4'11", I weigh in beautifully. That's what we're using it. I weigh in beautifully. But with that being said, I've also been studying for right here at YouTube, if you're listening for YouTube, or you can go over to, I think, various parts of social media, but they talk about being a soft gamine. For those that are familiar, I'll put it in the hashtag, so hopefully I'll be able to draw more of my tribe to me. But I'm a soft gamine, and basically what a soft gamine is, as it relates to fashion, there was I think fashion designer, you guys correct me on the story if I'm right or wrong, but fashion designer slash something of that way in the industry, who started to coin certain types of body types, faces, the way the woman's body is structured. Not necessarily the shape, but the structure of the body, giving way to personality, giving way to facial expression. So I fall in the soft gamine. He bases it on height and somewhat weight, but primarily height and body structure. So for me, I'm 4'11", and I have a round face. Some might say this way, people think I'm more youthful or more whatever. Most soft gamines have I'm a mixture of soft gamine and flamboyant gamine. Flamboyant gamines are shaped like little boys. In other words, I'm not very hippie. I have little wide shoulders, but if you look at me, you can tell that I'm solid, but I give off this soft squishiness to me, right? Like maybe nurturing, even, if some might say it's the best way I can describe it. So to be able to incorporate sexy, soft gamine, boho, witchy, believer, well, that's between me and God. My intimate relationship with God is we're good. I don't never have to dress the part. I don't gotta dress like I'm a Christian. I don't have to dress to be I love that people don't expect. I've loved it for years. I like looking like I'm not, right? I love oh my gosh, oh, well, that kind of thing. Anywho, let me check on my steak, y'all, because I'm supposed to be having steak. As a housewarming gift, someone got me a filet mignon, and I don't know if it's going wrong. I'm trying to make sure it's right. So I'm just frying it, y'all. I don't know. Y'all, any tips? I'm not a big steak eater, but I was going to have a steak. I got to go shopping, but I have that one steak, and I have one potato left. So I'm going to use steak and potatoes. And remember how I said I'm a part of a community where they donate food to the apartment complex that I'm in. Even though it's semi-luxury, they've connected to so many programs. So the other day, they had produce, like a little flea. You know how you go to the flea market? Is it the flea market or the farmer's market? Where they had nothing but produce and lettuce, tomatoes, things that kind of way. So I got the text from the management, and they were like, you can come downstairs. We got, goodies for free, blah, blah, blah. So sure enough, I went down there and got me some asparagus, okay? So I'm going to have me some asparagus. And I'm like Eartha Kitt. She's one of my favorite actresses, y'all. I'm Marcus, darling. Remember that part in Boomerang? But anyway, so I'm going to eat me some asparagus. I think that's what she was eating. Asparagus, baked potato, and steak. So let me check on it. I don't have my editing, so, ooh, ooh-wee. Well, that's charred, all right. Okay, let me turn on this fan. Wait a minute. Okay, I know what I gotta do with that. I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Almost. But I know I can't cook it too much. Then, after I do that, okay, I'm back. Ta-da! And so, so after I just turn on my fan. Keep in mind, you guys, for those that don't know, I am in a studio, so that's why I was like, dang, her kitchen close. Anywho, it's getting a little hot. I might want to turn on my fan. I won't do that right now. But anyway, so what's the goal, y'all? The goal is just to explore. The goal is to play around. I'm gonna be out and about this weekend. I know I want to get me some heels. I want to upgrade, so I want to get me at least one pair of heels that are versatile. I don't think I'll be wearing them out, but I definitely need a pair of heels to cater to my guys, to cater to, you know, my shows and stuff like that. So something that's maybe not too crazy, but a decent pair of heels. Some other little cam girl goodies that goes into the bucket. I want to explore in the future with maybe MAC makeup, because I want to upgrade from the CVS brands that I usually drugstore makeup, which I like. But I do, again, I got my own bathroom now, y'all, right? So I want to be able to explore and play a little bit more in the girly stuff. What else? There's a lot of little things, skincare, skin routines. I want to get in the way of doing that, going for massage. What does it mean to me? I'll come back on another video, guys, and I will go through what does luxury mean to me. And how I think would help me also, again, survive my homelessness, because like I said, I always had a standard. I've been picky since a little girl. That's probably part of my condition. But I've been picky, you know, when I say condition, we're talking about whether it's neurodivergent, slow registration of whatever it is, the way my brain works, right? We'll talk about that later on, y'all. But I say all that to say, being picky has allowed me to not feel ashamed and guilty being that way, but also understanding because I am that way, it looked like I had a standard even though I had low self-esteem. Does that make sense? So in other words, even if a person's picky, like let's just say I don't like crowds or I don't want to hang around negative people because of my condition, right? Because certain spaces and places make my anxiety rate go up, or I feel more timid. Even at 48, I feel a nervous tick that's still in me, you know, as old as I am, and I don't want to hang around with drama and trauma. I don't want to keep being traumatized over and over again. I just don't want to do it. If I want to be traumatized in a fun way, I get on a roller coaster ride, right? So, anywho, so I say all that to say, when it comes down to my little glitches, that's what I call them. I'm in the way of just trying to incorporate now, because now I have my freedom to do so. Now I'm in my own place, in my own space to play around with my life, if you will, y'all. Play around and discover and rediscover and or just discover things that life had not allowed me to. Again, you know, being in foster care, only depending on who was raising you, whether you're in foster care or not, you may not have gotten the chance to explore what luxury means or what it really means to shop at high-end places. And one thing that I definitely want to explore more so is fashion, because I just want something so that I know, okay, this is quality over something that's cheap, and knowing the difference, because if it's of quality, the material they use, then I know that it will last longer, and understanding it and understanding luxury or wealth in the place of seeing the positive in it and seeing that, no, this is the benefit. When you get to wearing leather or not leather, but doing something luxurious, right? Doing something that's upgrading your life. Once you get introduced to that thing, you're not going to really want to go backwards, is what I'm really saying. So now that I'm in my place and my space to explore, that's exactly what I want to do. Also, I want to let you guys know, since I started out in social media back 15, 16 years ago on YouTube, 17 years ago possibly on YouTube, all my videos was 20 minutes long. So, yay, TikTok, thank you. 1943. And this one's going to be a long one. My next one, I'm going to try to just keep it to 10. But for those, if you stayed this long in the video, I just want to say thank you. But I will definitely come back through and let you guys know. I'll write them down. You know, what are some of the things that I call luxury to me, you know, and then go out and explore to see how I can, you know, because keep in mind, remember you guys, when I was homeless in my van, a part of me creating some sense of standard, wealth, or luxury, I would go and sit in a restaurant and cam or do my shows with my own lighting. I would go in there, not necessarily like I own the place, because my son used to say, Mom, you go anywhere and finesse. But I would go in there with not an entitlement, but I would go in there with a pride, actually, because I didn't want people looking down on me or judging me harshly, you know, because I was homeless. So I made it a point to go into certain restaurants where there was a certain, certain class, that's the best way I could say it, to where not bougie, not that, y'all, you know what I'm saying, but a certain amount of, in other words, where they just didn't let any and everybody come in there. I made it a point to make sure that wherever I went, even if it had been a Jack in the Box or a fast food joint, I would go way out to like the cleaner areas of Los Angeles and go finesse there instead of going and being in the hood. You get what I'm saying? So a standard and having a sense of class and taste of how I want to maneuver, and then now incorporating that into my home, right, into my household, into my lifestyle, not copying anybody, not trying to be extra with it, but just really enjoying my life and taking advantage of the things that I never had a chance to really take advantage of. Because keep in mind, I then, after foster care, you know, I turned 18, I had my first son when I was 19, and so I've been a mother for the most of 28 years, and I'll continuously be a mom, right? I'm a grandmother now, and again, I just haven't had a chance to see what I could do, you know, and I mean, it's so much, y'all, it's so much, like, it's so much. I think about 2 years ago, I got I know this don't sound like luxury, y'all, bear with me, but for what I'm about to say, y'all gonna understand it. For all the people who wear wigs, I remember 2 years ago or 3 years ago when there was remember the EDD and we had all of them checks coming in. I remember upgrading to a lace front, real, you know, the real wigs, and that was my first time, because usually I wear synthetic half wigs. So just little things like that, you know, wanting to and obviously I'm gonna try to do this on a budget, y'all. It ain't like I'm trying to just go from one extreme to the next. No, I'm gonna do it within taste and budget, but I just want to have, in other words, like all that dress over there, and I'll close with this. That dress over there has all my jewelry on top. I'll show you guys later. All the little jewelry I own is on top of that dresser. But what I want, out of all the jewelry that I do have, I don't have any real gold. I don't have not one pair of real gold earrings, right? Now, I'm not into diamonds, not yet, but I do want to at least buy me a, not gold plated, I'm talking about some real gold earrings. And one day, I want to buy me some real, I love my bamboo, some real $800 plus, real solid gold bamboo earrings through and through is what I desire. It's something I've always wanted, but I've never had the means to get it, or if when I got it, I'd spend it on other things. So I think also it's about focus too. It's also about budgeting. So in other words, it's not like I want everything. I just want that one thing or one or two, three things, right, that won't lose its value. That's what I'm really saying, especially when it comes to my earrings. Because the truth is, I'm tired of putting polish on them, y'all, so that they don't change. I don't mind wearing it, but I do want to test the difference in quality, like I said earlier, as it relates to clothing. I want to know, okay, what's it like and what's it feel like to wear real gold? I don't wear no jewelry around my neck rarely, as you guys can tell, because I get allergic reaction most time. It itches. Now these, depending on what type of, if it's sterling silver or what's called nickel free, I'll be fine. But if I get something around my neck, I'll break out and all that, and I'm like, wait a minute, I need to. I'm so sensitive to where, like I said before in my other videos, some things about me I'm so sensitive to. I need to have special treatment, and I need to be, you know, make sure that I'm wearing top of the line, because there's a quality to it, is what I'm really saying. Because if I wear certain things that are cheap, especially primarily jewelry, right, it's going to affect my what? It's going to affect my health. So I need to be sure. And the only reason why I wasn't into lace fronts, for two reasons. One, the lace always gave me headaches because I already get migraines. And number two, I wasn't into wearing somebody else's hair because I'm a spirit woman first. So that's the facts. And so I'm not, that's the only thing that keeps me, like, I don't know if I'll ever get into really wearing somebody else's hair. I don't know about that one, being what I understand about things of the spirit. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this steak over at 25 minutes. You guys, thank you for joining me and tuning in. One love, kisses. Hopefully you guys will follow the broadcast. You'll follow whatever it is that I got going on over here, so you can kind of see me little bit by little bit, level up, because now I'm in a space and a place to do so. For sure, this time, y'all. Nobody can come in here and tell me different, right? It's just virtually, realistically, spiritually, socially, all of them leads impossible. Because if God gave it to me, like he did, can't nobody take it away, right? So, anywho's, with that being said, one love, kisses. You guys will hear me, see me in the next one. Again, let me go check on this steak. Ooh, I hope it ain't tough. That's why I don't like steak. I don't know what the hell it's gonna taste. I'm going to surprise myself if this steak is chewable. Anyway, bye for now, y'all. You guys will hear me, see me in the next one. Kisses.